All right. Welcome, sketchbook heroes and sketchbook warriors. We got some sketching tonight. We're going to be looking at proportions again and maybe some muscles, but definitely some landmarks. So we're going to start off with landmarks here. This is really important for understanding where things go. So you can see the size of the head. That's the unit. That's the number. What do you call a unit? Understanding units is interesting, and how we measure things. If you've never gotten into measurement and measuring things, you need to do that. You need to measure things, go around measuring things. But like even like oh, when you're making a cake or something, you have units, right? So knowing what the unit is, what is that measurement? So we use the head as a measurement, as a cup, right? As a cup of so here's the head, and then we're using that as the unit. And then you go down to that, the nibbles or the areolas. I don't know how else we can say that. But 1.5 at the halfway mark is the shoulders, right? Probably a little bit above that. Then below that, at the third head is the belly button, and the elbow, the hip joints, and we're going to be checking these positions. So you should be drawing this while I'm talking about it. Fingertips stretched, and then mid thigh. I'm going to put this in the chat, and I'll go ahead and draw this. You want to draw both the front view and the side view, the soles of the feet. Do both the front view and the side view. And then what does change, I mean, this gets a little, once you understand this, and then we throw the monkey wrench. We throw the monkey wrench as far as perspective, how things change. But, you know, that comes with time, and that's what makes drawing things a little bit difficult, because there's a lot to it. So just learn one thing at a time. That's how we eat the elephant. You know, it's something that's huge. You break things down, right? You break things down, and that's what we always do. We break things down. When you're having trouble with something, hey, let's break that down. Can we simplify? Right. So we're simplifying this. All right, let's do this.
That's how you eat the Jeep.
That's how you eat the what?
Jeep. The Jeep.
The Jeep. Wow, that's it.
Jeep. The Jeep.
Yeah. All right, let's put this in the chat. Thank you. I don't know if anybody wanted to share. Oh, we didn't share anything tonight. There it is in the chat. Let's get going. We already have people ahead of me. All right, that's great. I love seeing that. All right, so let's turn this around. I might catch up. We'll see. All right, so we've got the size of the head, and it's got, actually doesn't have that oval shape, but it's just, you should be practicing your ovals and practicing, you're just sketching like that real quick. Now that we got that as a measurement, I've gotten a straight edge here, so that's good. You want to do the front view and the side view. I think last time we just did the front view last week, and I know I was in a different place. I don't know. I've been all over the place, so hopefully things will start slowing down a little bit. I've been working on those videos. It's a little harder than I thought, because I'm such a perfectionist. But here's our unit. Here's my unit. And I'll catch up. See if I can catch up. That's my one. Let me use that. And a good thing about, actually, this is interesting, when you're making measurements and making lines and understanding geometry, it takes 2 points to make a line. So these are our points. This is our measurement we're using. I'm going down. And again, you know, just like our friend mentioned last time, yes, this is a superhero, or you know, and if you make the change to less, which will show our next in our next drawing, you make it more less heroic. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's not gonna fit. And 8 right at the bottom. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to change my scale a little bit. That's okay. And see, now I know it's not gonna fit, and I didn't have to put all that energy into this. I'm just gonna, just by cutting this just a little bit, I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller. It's already getting smaller there, but we have all these lines. It's okay. I don't think you get confused. Hopefully not. Maybe I should use a different color. No, I'm just make these lines bigger. That's what it is. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at right on that spot right there. And it should be right there. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What? Right to the bottom. Okay, there we go. All right, here's my head. Oh, and then I'm going to do the same. Another way of doing it is, that's not good. Let's use that same measurement. All right, just go over here. Because you want 2 points.
Something doesn't look right.
2 points. I've had students where they just do 1 point and then they just try to freehand and they try to eyeball the measurement, and I can tell. So you want to be sometimes be a little bit precise. So I'm going to get those same points, same units, the head unit, and just put it to the other side. And if you're watching this on video, our videos get posted every week. You can pause, fast forward. I'll try to speed it up, so do it at your own pace. All right, here we go. Let's see. Now that I got my 2 points, make sure your ruler's on both points, and then just do your lines. And if you don't have a ruler, we used a folded paper once. Got to be resourceful. Got to solve problems. That's the thing. That's the big thing. Solving things, figuring things out, asking questions, being curious. That's what my first video is about. First videos.
I'm solving problems right now by erasing and starting over. I did one extra section, so he wasn't fitting.
That's all good. It's practice. You can turn your sheet of paper over too. Don't have to erase. I mean, there's several ways to solve a problem as well. That's awesome. That's what it's about. Figuring things out. It's like, okay, all right. And not getting discouraged. So many people, you know what? They dabble. They and it's good to dabble. It's good to like dabble. But once they come across a problem, they're like, I can't. Okay, all right, next. But you know, sometimes that's where the fun is. It's like, okay, here's the challenge. How can we do this? How can we figure this out? All right, I think let's see if I made any of my lines crooked. No, they look pretty straight. No, I think it'd be my eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's it. That's 8. I know what no, something's wrong because I can see it. I can see it. This is a little bit closer on this side. It's okay. It's close enough. It's close enough. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw the rest of it. And I know that my camera's not parallel. And yeah, definitely ordering that camera. So here we go. There's my head. And the middle of that's the shoulders, right? That's the middle. And then we go in over there. There's one side. I will be catching up to you. So whoever's there. And again, the areolas are on this line here, on this line. Again, write that down. Number 1, chin. 1.5, which is the shoulders. 1.5 shoulders. That's 1.5. Oh man, I was so bad at math until I decided, oh, you know what? No more. And it was that time when I just made that decision. And I took off. And I was like, wow. And it all started off with something that happened when I was in the 4th grade. And that was being in the Cub Scouts. In the Cub Scouts, we would say, there was a saying, we'd say, I say your name, promise to do my best, to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people, and to obey the law of the pack. But it was that second line, I promise to do my best. And I'm like, wow, that was such a concept, you know, doing my best. Didn't matter if I messed up. It didn't, you know, I did my best. And that was so huge in my learning, I guess, because I took it into the arts, and that's all. Like, oh, I'm just going to do my best. And I took it there. And then I got really good. I excelled in the arts, but I was taking, you know, this basic math stuff. I'm like, why am I doing this? It's the same stuff. And then I found geometry after that. I'm like, why have they been hiding this? It was so fun. I found geometry so fun. And started going off.
And they had been hiding it from you?
They've been hiding it from me. Yeah. They've been hiding geometry, because you have to kind of go through, you know, basic math first, I guess. I don't know what their reasoning. Well, I guess I know what the reasoning is, but yeah, I don't know. Number 5 is where the fingertips are. Again, for those of you just coming in, we're looking at the landmarks. These are the landmarks, and good to know. Finger, and spell everything right. Fingertips. There we go. Oh, I'll put it in the chat again. Let's put this in the chat. I know I just saw some people coming in. I'm going to try to catch up. Yeah, I eyeballed. It's all good. Again, it's just practice. And just practice, I mean, eyeballing it. What's important is the concept. That's what's important. So you'll get it. All right. Oh, all right. I'm going to do it differently this time for those persons who just came in. Yeah, you just gotta do it. That's the biggest thing. You know what? It's just doing it. That holds so many people back, just trying to get it perfect. There's no such thing. I mean, to doing it perfect, it is it'll be a crutch. You want it to be good, I'm sure. I know you want it to be good, but you want to do it. Perfectly not done is better than not done at all. Yeah, there we go. Bottom of kneecaps. Kneecaps.
You know, Sylvester Stallone said,
Did he?
he's famous for writing in a weekend his Oscar-winning movie Rocky.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, he wrote in a weekend, but it was really bad. His policy is just get something down on paper and
That's
take it from there.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have something to work with. You have that raw clay, you have that idea, and then you can mold it and move it and yeah, definitely.
And you've gotten moving.
Yeah.
You've done the Nike, just do it.
Yeah, just do it. That's half the battle. All right, let's see. There we go. Again, this torso doesn't change. This torso is really solid, a solid piece. And then you got the pelvis right underneath that belly button, and these joints. Again, there's the two different joints. You have the rotating, and then you have the bending, which is the elbows, which are right above that that part. I'm gonna move the hands out a little bit. Yeah, it's a slight little bend to them. The wrists. Oh yeah, look at there it is. The wrists. And then the hands. Yeah, the hands are the size of the head, of the face. And those are good things to compare when you're comparing where things go. The bottom of the kneecaps. Look at that. And it just coming along really quickly. I'm gonna try to catch up to Yolanda. It's all good. It's not a competition.
So cool how the profile matches up, because I drew it like that. I drew lines, and it's just so cool the way everything matches up.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it should too. As things turn, everything should match up. Everything should match up. There's the head. I'm on my profile now, and then you've got that spine, which is really interesting on the profile because it does have that curve. It comes out of the skull and then it curves. So that's an interesting thing as it curves through level 2 and then back onto that pelvis on level 3 right there. That curve
the way they have the knee joint and those joints. It's like, that reminds me of the Zentangles. That's a very you see that everywhere in Zentangles with that. There's an orb and then there's a line coming out of it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, everywhere I look, I see Zentangles.
There's what is that saying that there's when you buy a new car or something, there's a part of that reticular, what is it called? Some part of your brain. Once you see it and then you see it everywhere. It's like you buy that car and you see that
the amygdala.
The amygdala, is it the amygdala? Yeah.
It's the amygdala.
Interesting.
So yes, last week we drew the pelvis a lot more boxy.
Yes.
Do you like it boxy or do you like it round when you draw?
Good question. I like it boxy, actually. I like it boxy. You can see I kind of have it here because this picture is rounder. And it is more like a shape of I imagine it as a shape of a butterfly. And it is tilted. Let's see if they have it tilted. I don't know if they have that. They don't have that tilt in this one.
Because they're not showing the bony structures here.
No, it's not the bony structure. Not the bone structure. It's just a good, I call this the landmarks. Figure landmarks. This is good to know and practice. And we're going to look for those right now. And then the calf, the way the calf kind of bends back and then forward again. Well, that's a muscle. That's a muscle back there. You know, the way it flows. And it kind of flows in and out. You can see this whole curve. Look at this. It's not in the drawing there, but you can see it in mine. I'm going to exaggerate there. And then you've got the foot holding all that up. Yeah, but this is this movement, this flow of line, the gesture is what, and you'll see it in one of our drawings. There we go. I kind of caught up. And if you haven't, it'll be there. Oh, actually, I left it up. Oh, there's my drawing then. I didn't really do the details of the hand too much. Do that more hands. I don't like those. Well, we'll see. That's good. All right, let's share my screen again while you see my drawing. There we go. Screen 2. And still, like, I shared it. This is this one was really interesting. I'm not going to get into too much detail. Let me just use I'm going to just keep this up real quick just to make annotations. Then we'll jump into the drawings. Again, we're only staying till 6:20, so for an hour, that's not bad. Hey, not bad for free, right? For fun.
It is excellent. We appreciate you taking time out between your busy schedule and going to take care of your mother.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, she's getting better, so that's a good sign. That's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. All right. So yeah, thank God she's getting better. She's so you can see the size of this head, and then it's there it is right there to the middle. There's 1, 2. Yeah, there it is. They are using it. 3, and then here 4, 5. But it's just the kid drawings. So that's good to know. I'll put this in the chat as well. If you want to download it, you can actually. That's actually pretty cool when you click on it, it downloads. So
I think I have that in one of my anatomy books.
Oh, yeah?
I have some of those for artists.
Uh-huh.
But do I look at them? No, they're in the bookcase though.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's the other thing too is having that.
I know those though. I mean, I know those images. You know, the photographic ones. I'm sure
Right.
you know the old timey ones.
Yeah. I've seen like even the fetus, kind of like those are good to study. All right, so there's a cool hand. I don't know, you want us to kind of we're really doing figure drawing, so I don't know. You've been this is the second time you've uploaded this. If we'll see if I can jump to it if we get to it in the next hour. Here we go. This one though, this one's really cool. I really like the flow of this one. They really used and I'll sketch it out pretty quick. Let's take a look at some of this stuff here though. I really like the flow of it. And again, you don't have to draw what we're drawing. You can draw whatever you'd like. We're just here to practice and hold each other, you know, a little bit of accountability, a little bit of you know, discipline, you know, and support, right? That support, right? So there's the shoulders, and here that would be the torso, and then the pelvis here, and then this leg just comes down here. I would say that yeah, the way it flows out, but they've got it really curvy, and then these feet are smaller than they would be proportion wise, which is fine. So are the hands, but that's just the style. That's the style. But it's look at they curve everything out, and it's got really nice flow. So when you're doing gesture drawings, you're really looking for this stuff, and then you do it automatically without even thinking about the proportions, because you get the feel of the proportions. So yeah, that's basically it. You can see that bend down there. There's some other things to look at. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and draw it. Not much. I was going to do the proportions. Oh yeah, can do that. There's the size of 1. I'm just going to count them out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Here's the head. And according to that, there's the the areolas. See if I straighten it out a little bit. The areolas, and then we have what's after that? The belly. Yeah, look at the belly. That's the belly, and then this would be the anatomic middle. Look at that. There's the anatomic middle, or the crotch area. And then you have the what's the next one? Let's go down one more. And that would be that's it. Look at the bottom of the kneecaps. This one's in proportion, the perspective as well. So this is the kneecaps probably a little bit lower. And then the next one would be the calf muscles. What is that? The bottom of the calf muscle. And then you'd have the that. But this is actually stretched out. So this whole foot would actually come down to here. The foot would be a little bit lower, but it's not too bad. The proportions are there. Proportions are there. All right, let's draw it real quick.
I'm sorry. Can you do the proportions on the leg again? Because
sure,
it's looking short for me.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I have this going that way. So here we go. Here's one. I wish I could copy paste this. It would be so cool. So there's one, the head. There's two. That's the two. There's the three. And he is bending and moving, but it's really close to there's the four. See, that actually is a little bit now that I did it again and resized it, it's probably going a little bit longer there. 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? It would be better here. Hold on. I'm going to copy and paste it and put it in Photoshop. Let's do that. That'll help. Copy image. Put it in Photoshop real quick. Oh, there, it's right here. So Control V. There it is. All right, this will be easier. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Oh, even better. All right. And I'll use this pen tool. See if that works. There we go. Now here I can actually copy paste. So let's copy that. Control C, Control V. Now the question is, can I move it? There we go. Yes, I can. Oh, look at that. That wasn't too hard. I'll paste it again. You know, that'll help. Paste it again. All right, it's working. Paste it again. And these are exactly the same size. All right, I might be doing this from now on. I'd actually would like to do it in this is Photoshop. I would do it in Photo P. That way you would have access to this. And
so the legs are a little short, right? Because
yeah, the legs
the knees are at about 5.5 instead of at about 6.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm really more interested in the briefcase.
Yeah.
Vanishing points and all that because I'm so used to drawing the figure, you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's always the challenge.
Right.
So, you know, the vanishing points and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to know what your focus is and your phase. I've talked about that, what phase you're going through, what your focus is. Sometimes you want to focus on shapes and make that your focus. And if you make it your focus long enough, it becomes a phase that you go through, and then you go to the next phase, right? And then you go to form. Then you go through a phase where you're just focusing on proportions or focus on perspective. You go through those phases, and then it all comes together. It really all comes together. But you have to go through those phases where you're just drawing hands for like hands and hands over and over. And you should, you know, follow that. You should know what phase you're in. All right.
I've been stuck in the portrait phase for like probably since high school. I'm 33 now.
That's great.
I want to learn body so bad.
If you're
Like,
saying stuck, that's something else. I mean, you can say that Bob Ross was stuck in the landscape phase. I mean,
oh
he's,
yeah.
but you know, it's just if you're enjoying it and if you're doing that. But if you're stuck, but that's where you know, okay, it's good. Like, okay, what's asking the questions? What are you getting stuck on? What are you having trouble with? What can we break down for you? That's where the learning is, right? So
Yeah.
here's my head. I can do this really quick. I can see the flow of this.
Stuff can be good. I think that's what Eladios just said about Bob Ross. I want to get stuck in cartoony. I'm just getting distracted by all this other stuff because that's what's available. I see no point in anything in life besides cookies and cartoons.
I love cookies. My students would say, "Is that a beer belly?" No, it's a cookie belly. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, cookies, yeah. Especially the crispy ones. I don't like the gooey ones. I don't like the gooey ones. All right, let's see how many heads. I counted my heads here already.
Okay, now I want a cookie.
Yeah, give a mouse a cookie. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, right at 4.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Right below 4. What's not funny? A day without a laugh is a day wasted. Charlie Chaplin said that. A day without a laugh is a day wasted. Let's see. This one goes to there. Let's see how many has it. I didn't put numbers on them. But it's got a really nice flow and movement. And this is good, even though the proportions aren't exactly, but and they're never going to be exact. And those are just landmarks. Those are things to kind of look for. And your mileage will vary, but that's good to know where those things are at.
I swear I have a learning disability because I'm drawing the suitcase, the briefcase. And literally I have it going in the wrong direction. So then I check the angle and then I see that I have it going the wrong way. So it's much harder for me.
All right, well,
cleverly
let's take a look at that.
mine
I
too far
mean,
left.
I'm sorry?
I cleverly drew mine too far to the left, so the briefcase is off the page.
You know what I love about the drawing? I love the way this, there's like that the black part and then the gray part.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have where your light source, you can see the light sources coming from the left.
So I think that's really cool. And
Mm.
also, don't forget, this is probably computer generated. So whatever we're doing, it's different. It's different when you're hand drawing
Yeah.
because when the computer does it, if you think about it, it's not even real, it's all virtual, right? And everything
Right,
is
but
pixels and
well, I mean, it's a polished drawing. I mean, you can get that with ink and stuff like that. But yeah, you're still gonna get these angles. Like here, I can see this mass here, the angles and there is a little bit of a bend in it. So if I can see the flow or the direction of this line here, the bottom one, but it does pull out a little bit. See, there's a little bit of a pull, but overall that general direction, and I can see it. Actually, I can see the points. You only need 2 points to make a line, which was what we had mentioned earlier. And this one actually has a little bit of a bend at the bottom, the bend of the bottom of it. Let me see. And I'm getting it. I can actually probably thin it out a little bit, but getting the angles is really important because then you can actually see I just made an adjustment here, but I still kept the same angle. I just changed the ratios. I'll even change the angle a little bit, but to try to get the feel of it. Right there it is. It's right there. And then I'm going to add the handle, and there it is. But yeah, definitely if you're struggling with something, it's good to see. It's good to step outside your comfort zone, try something new, or whatever your focus is. Everybody's at a different place, different space. And it's awesome. I can see a portrait going in and somebody's somebody's window there. Awesome. All right, there's mine. And it's got a pretty good feel to it. All right, I'm going to jump to the next one. And I usually break it down into shapes, but I really just went with the flow of it, and I kind of used the landmarks to kind of get it placed. So this is kind of different from the way I usually do the drawings here, especially on Thursdays. All right, let's jump to the next one. There's a back. Not a lot of muscle tone. This one has a lot more muscle tone. And then that one, not muscle tone, but it has a full body, which is cool.
He looks familiar.
It is familiar.
We had that, you know, you had what was that thing called? A line of art? Is that what
Yeah, the line of art. Yeah, the person who, yeah, does look like one of the line of art models. Could be. Could be one of the line of art models. All right, we're gonna go with this one. This one's definitely got some muscles to it. So we talked about muscles. Let's see. You can see the deltoids. This is from a Getty image. And with this one, definitely want to see the form. There we go. It's interesting how it kind of changes because the biceps kind of like even lead into the deltoids. Actually, the pecs, but that's not being shown here.
Can you put it in chat?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, copy the image, put it in the chat. Here we go. There he is. All right. All right, so I'm going to point out, actually do something a little bit more like what we do in Thursdays, beginning, looking at shapes, but you know, then seeing the form. Because all this is like this is all like form here. You can see definitely see that deltoid. Oops. Right. Oh, wrong tool. There we go. The selection tool. There's that deltoid. Then you have the bicep, and then the pecs. But I'm as far as relationships, I don't have relationships going. You can't see the axis of these shapes. Like here, this where this is to where that is. That kind of like the peaks, and how this comes out, and just the angles of this too.
Ladio, do you think his ears are in the right place?
Yes, they are. He's facing down.
He's facing down, but they seem very high up.
Yeah, I know. But he's facing down. That's why they are. You know, as we learned how to draw face in proportion, but he's facing down, and they are. This is how high they go. That's how high they go. But you can see that, and that's a great point. Yeah, they are. Like, see this curve here? You can round it out. You can round out these. I'll send 2 of these. And see here, this I can make it straighter, but you can notice how this curves. But if you see the shape here, and then notice how it curves, right? It kind of bends. It bends out this way. Notice the bend. Let's shake his hand here. I'm getting these marks. The angle of the trapezius. It's the trapezius muscle, which it goes all the way to the back to the scapula. Then you can see here a little bit of the that's the clavicle in there, the clavicle. And then underneath here, which is, you're not really seeing too much here, but under there, I'm going to erase those. That's the sternocleidomastoid. That's that neck muscle, but you really don't see it. But you do see that this face angle. If you're drawing this, if I were drawing this, I would see this really strong angular face. Although on one side it does push in a little bit. There we go. And you see, you don't see his eyes either. He is looking really down. And his nose almost covers his lips, right? Then his pecs. And then here you would have his hip. It's starting to, you can barely see it starting to stick out right here. that hand is. I'm just going to go ahead and draw it from here. Let me just put it in. Oh, actually, I already put it in the chat. I'll put this one in the chat as well. And then, would you like to see that? Keep this drawing up, or watch me draw along? I think I'll just draw along. I'll do a close up. Here we go. There we go. All right, so let's stop sharing. That's it. All right, I'm gonna block everything in real quick on mine drawing. And I sketch, so I can see there's different. Again, you go through different phases. This is a good phase when you're first starting off. Some people want to do like a finished drawing right away. It's good to have that sketching foundation, like you scribble it and then build up on it, because this is like you're working with clay, right? And there are different approaches to drawing, but this is, I think, a good way for when you're learning, kind of get that in, because then you can make all kinds of mistakes and say, okay, I like this line here, and kind of choose your lines and see, okay, here's the shape, and start molding it more like clay, right? And it's okay to make those mistakes. And then you can start seeing these shapes. Okay, this is the angle of the trapezium. And you can see the shape of that deltoid. And then you got the biceps sticking out right there. And then the arm, the angle of the arm, the hand. Again, I see that as one big mass right in there. I'm just blocking everything out, And then I can go into, again, we go from general to specific. That's the process. And we praise the process. How did you do that? You know, you want to ask people, well, how did you do that? How did you do that? And then you learn, like, wow, you know, ask questions, be curious. Okay. So here we go. There's the, and I didn't, well, yeah, his head is tilted down. So I'm not going to get those proportions we were talking about earlier. I can see the shape in here, the pec, and then you've got the abs in there. You got the six-pack. There's a 1-pack, 2 packs. I'm going by 2s, 2, 4, and then the 6. And then the hand goes in right in there. And I'm looking at this shape in here, the negative shape in here. See, I'm looking at that shape. As a scribble, I can see this as a mass. You can see where everything's at. There's that other muscle here.
Just so my brain could get prepared for the future, you said we were going to do figure drawing for about 2 weeks into April.
Right.
Do you have some plans for after that, or are you going to cut this down and go back to once a week?
I don't know. I'm thinking of I'm gonna probably cut it down to maybe an hour and a half at the most. I really like this hour and a half, and I know because we have some people in New York and different places, so you know, I'd like to do that. But the thing is, I'm going to change the format a little bit. I'm just slightly making these tweaks because I always like to. That's the way things are. You want to iterate. They're called iterations, and slowly make things better. There's something I really want to focus on questions. So I haven't done it yet, but as you sign up, I want to make, you know, what are your questions? What are you struggling with? What should we kind of like, you know, we have our focus, which is figure drawing. And then what questions do you have? And like, I haven't had it. I didn't even, I know I don't have something set up for this class yet. I don't, well,
if you're taking requests for themes, I'm leaning a little towards caricature or editorial cartooning style.
Ooh, sounds good. All right, I like that. And you've been doing that, so yeah, you've been uploading that, and that's actually a good transition. And what I like about editorial cartoon, because then that gets us really closer to purpose. I really like if you know what your purpose is, as far as like, okay, why you're drawing, you maybe you have something to say, and like you know, especially with cartoons, and you have an idea like, oh, okay, because I've seen editorial cartoons, and I've done them myself, but where they stick figures, they're just stick figures, and some of them are just stick figures. They just trying to get that idea across, whatever the idea is, and then go from there. You know, the drawing is just secondary. What's important is the idea, and that's true with a lot of stuff. I don't know, I see a lot of art students just focusing on just coming up with realistic stuff. It's a good goal, but what's the why? What's the purpose? What's the reason for it? You know, you can get really real. Why not just take a picture? But if you're trying to say something, if you're trying to tell a story, if you're trying to, then you're doing something with a purpose, right? You have a reason why you're doing it. I mean, it's a good goal. I can, you know, get pretty real. It does take time. It does take effort, but you know, and it's a good goal. But once you reach it, once you can do that, okay, what's next? What's the point? Right. Yeah, it's so it's good to kind of like have that already in mind, like, oh, okay, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to do this, and then you shoot for that, and you know, and go through those phases. I went through that phase of drawing realistic. I'm actually finishing the top of his head, the way it would kind of go as it kind of curves. And then the head, this whole eyebrow and brow movement, the nose, the angles, the mouth, right at the bottom of that. As he faces down. Let's see. I think I need to bring this shoulder out a little bit more. See, I can easily just boom, add to it as a sketch, and everything else is just it's all like clay. Got these heavy eyebrows and going darker with them. You can see some of the eyelashes shooting down in there. It depends on how real you want to get too. You don't have to get super real. What's important is really studying the mass, studying the proportions, how everything fits. And I kind of mentioned the muscles. We should get through these, and we have time. Go through some muscles. That's loud. Well, I don't know who that is. Oh, the administration of energy savings. Always getting this. All right. We talked about the proportions, the eyes, how they're doing the face. It's mostly the bottom lip. Probably add a little more chin, or move something up or down. I'm going to add a little more chin here. Bring that down. See, I'm working my way out. Now that I have everything, I can actually still add or adjust things. But I'm going here and I'm looking at my different spaces, my negative space, positive space. And if I want to get into shading, I can get into the shading, the lights and the darks. This picture is really good as far as well, it's taken professionally, and it's also, you can see the muscles clearly. You can see the lighting, the way they lit this person up. It's got a light from the left, lower left, and another light on the right. There's two. It's lit with two lights at least. If you want to study the values, that would be a whole other. You can actually probably stare at this drawing for the rest hour or some different people. Well, to see different things, I'm sure, to see the muscles or to see this is a really good picture. To the hair. I'm getting what's that game called? It's a fighting game. Getting those kind of vibes.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, yeah. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat vibes. And it's all his hair. I'm just going to shade it in. You can easily put a shade and values. I mean, you can study values, lights and darks. I mean, this has got some really nice lighting. If you get into that, it all depends on what you focus on. And the other things don't even matter. I mean, if you're focusing on lights and darks and shading, so what if your proportions are out of proportion for a while? You know what your focus is. It'll all come together. You just got to trust yourself. You got to believe you can do it. And because you're just sometimes too focused on something. Have you ever tried drawing something with letters in it, and then you're like you misspell it because you're focused on other things? You're like, oh wow, I wasn't looking at the spelling, or it all depends on what your focus is. You can lose track of things. All right, let's throw some little eyelashes in there. I think I got the feel of his face. So, and then just go from there. Let's see, I have this as one shape, and now I can see that shape, see how it fits in here. It's got some folds where the arm kind of wrinkles, I guess.
Were you taking requests about the questions? Like, I struggle with not making my figures look stiff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Oh, you're gonna love the next picture. Yeah, and you'll go through that stiff phase as well. The thing is the first step is in solving a problem is knowing there is a problem. So yeah, okay, so now you know that there is a problem. The thing is to get angles and to get like here, yeah, not to get them so stiff. So this one of the character, the person on the floor, definitely will get away from making it stiff. Yeah, that's the thing. That's awesome that you can recognize that. Yeah, it's the first step in solving a problem is knowing that there is one. A lot of times we just swim in and like, oh, that's so pretty, also nice. You get just positive feedback all the time. And that's the whole thing too, is wow, how accepting feedback, learning to, you know, get that feedback without letting it kill the creativity, because it can kill creativity. You know, it's like, oh, I can't get it, or you're too hard on yourself. That criticism can kill creativity if you let it. You got to just kind of have to learn to, okay, I know I'm not getting it. And if you go through that phase of a little bit of struggle and then you get it, it's like, oh, okay, boom, I don't see that as a problem anymore. And you like wonder, wow, why was it so hard to tie my shoes? Why was it so hard to ride a bike? But once you know, it's like magic. It's like you just do it without thinking about it.
And audio, when I draw with the kids, I am a little bit critical with them, I have to say, because I don't want to say that it's good if it isn't good, you know, and I want to help them improve. So how do you draw, how do you know how far you can go with that, you know, without
With kids, you really just yeah, it is.
I can't. If it's not good, I just can't. They'll know what I think. They could see it on my face.
Yeah. Well, you always want to, especially with any kind of feedback, you want to be warm. You want to, and actually with anything, see what the good. You want to see the good, and that really helps them. You know, anybody to keep doing the good, because when you look at the bad, then they lose the good. That's the thing with criticism, especially when they're young. You know, they say, oh wow, they just look at that. It's just like, you know, people who watch the news, they just see that and they think the whole world's like that, you know, but it's not. There's good stuff in the world too, you know. So it is, you know, it's good to see it and recognize it, and when you're, especially if you can handle it, like the watching the bad news all the time. But you know, you want to see the good and keep with the good. And then, oh wow, I really like, you know, and point out the good. When it comes to feedback, I call it warm feedback, doing the warm feedback, and then cool feedback, kind of like a sandwich. You give that cool cold meat in there, and then you give it a little bit of more warm at the end. But and try to keep it simple too. Like, okay, and if you know what they need to work on, like I'll give them like direction, like, oh wow, oh look at those shapes, you know, because it should be kind of, feedback should kind of go in those stages. You kind of should see the work and kind of see what stage they're at or what their focus is. Okay, you know, because they can only focus on one thing, especially if you give them too much feedback. Your brain can only really focus on one thing. You're focusing on, okay, I'm going to just focus on values. I'm going to just focus on shapes. All right, we're just focusing on shapes, right? And that's what we're looking at. We're just looking at shapes. Oh, I like those shapes. Ooh, look at these shapes. And you have a focus, right? You have a focus. So feedback makes more sense, and feedback is more valuable because that's what you're focusing on. Oh, let's focus on shapes. Let's focus on, okay, we're just looking at light. Look at the light. Look at the way that, oh, this is a reflected light. Look at that bounce light. Ooh, did you notice this light over here? Oh, you missed this light. Look at that light. And it's more of a discovery, and you're on that journey together instead of pointing out like, oh, you missed this, you missed that. You know, it's more of an observational thing. Oh, I just came across Perel. She's awesome as far as relationships. But she talks about criticism, and don't criticize. She actually says do a wish. You know, instead of you're having trouble with a partner, you don't criticize them for not taking out the trash. just say, hey, you know, I wish you would take out the trash. You know, you just tell them, you know, don't oh, I wish, you know, oh, what if you put more shading over here? You know, just lead them,
Right,
guide
right,
them.
right. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I wouldn't say, oh, this sucks or anything like
Yeah.
that, you
No,
know.
no, you don't.
But
And you
I
kind of have
want them
to,
to get better, and I want them to observe, like, I try to do like what you know, like, look at this and look at that shape and look what's going on over there, and, and they start to notice, so that's good. I
yeah,
had a, I had a teacher as in an adult education, art class, um, who would come behind, would stand next to you, and she would go, okay, now what's the problem here? And then you would look at the setup of the still life, and then you would see what the problem was,
right.
because you thought that you got it, but you really didn't. And so she would say, "What's the problem here?" And
Mhm.
then, then you could figure it out. I thought that
Right.
was helpful.
Yeah, and that goes to problem solving too, you know, that you're solving it like, you know, but what happens when you have too many problems, right? It's like, so, you know, yeah, just one
Oh,
thing at
I
a
think we
time.
focused on one problem at a time.
Yeah, one problem at a time.
One problem at a time.
Yeah. Or one focus, whatever your focus is. You're focusing on like drawing hands. Hey, let's draw hands. Let's look at the shapes, look at the angles. But you know, it really comes down to how I've broken things down, right? Learning how to see shapes and then learning how to see form. Some people just struggle really seeing form and understanding form. You almost have to play with clay and do three-dimensional stuff. That's a whole next level. You know, seeing the shapes is one thing, and then seeing the form, and then seeing form like here, like this I would, because this goes over, I would probably even push this over a little bit too, just a little bit. This line right in there, that deltoid. There's an artist who draws superheroes, and he does a lot of this overlapping shapes, especially as things come up and go back in space. I don't know, what's his name? Flip. Oh, I almost had it. Started with an F. But he's does all that drawing of superheroes, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's got some really good stuff on drawing figures in perspective. Really good stuff. As I put all this stuff together, he's going to be one of the resources. And I'm just throwing the fingers in there, the knuckles. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're just drawing and sketching almost for fun. We kind of did point out some stuff as far as proportions again. And here you can definitely see the muscles. I'm pointing out some of the muscles, seeing the muscles on a figure like this. But most people don't go walking around like this. But, you know, drawing what's underneath is good to know it's there.
But I also tell them the things that I'm struggling with, so they know that I'm not, I'm not perfect.
Yeah. It's not, yeah, it's not about the perfection. It
Yeah,
is
I tell
about
them that I'm struggling with things.
the struggle. It's even more than a struggle too. It's the puzzle. You're figuring things out. Look, I'm figuring this stuff out. I'm having trouble with this. And I love Einstein's quote where he says, you know, you think you have math problems, you should see mine. And it's that, you know, we're always kind of like, you're always trying to improve, trying to get to the next thing you're focusing on or trying to figure out, or you're studying, whether it's even story or, and then when you get it, and it's actually that joy of learning. That joy is what we really want to give them. It's like, oh, you got it. Oh, all right, wow, you know, because if you're just, you know, giving the depends. It's so yeah, feedback. And if you say something, a lot of times, sometimes it sticks with people like for a long time. Like, wow, I remember you told me this about that. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, you forget. But and so it's really, really crucial that you're kind of, you know, kind of sandwich it or look for the good. Because then they keep doing that and they say, and then they see it themselves. I'm like, oh, this looks good, but wait a minute, this is not looking so good. And it's best when they take it on, right? When they take it on. And sometimes they don't see the good. That's the other thing too. They don't see the good. You do things and they think they just see the bad, and it's like, well, it's, you know, so.
But you know what? They had a good time, so they didn't, you know, I didn't get the feeling from them that they were
Oh,
discouraged.
that's great.
They
That's
just
great.
kinda-
That's, yeah.
So whenever I go, you know, whenever I visit them, I do drawing with them. I bring paper along and pen, you know, all kinds of stuff
Oh, that's awesome.
that
Yeah.
we don't have to go digging up supplies. You know, I bring my own whatever, and they really
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, and it should be a fun thing. It should be a fun thing. It should be a creative a thing, and it's that journey. It is the journey. You know, it's like, whoa, you know, it and a thing of discovery, a thing of it's that hero's journey too. You know, when you go see movies, you know, you see the struggles, you see them go through things, and you know, that superhero, you're building a skill, you go through a training. I don't know, different movies. You pick your movie, Hunger Games or whatever, Star Wars. You know, they go through. There's a villain, there's a battle, there's, you know, there's a treasure they're trying to find or something, right? And it goes back to storytelling and back to fireside history, caveman, you know. So definitely keep that adventure kind of mindset going with a drawing and looking for shapes or whatever it is. You know, you kind of need to know what the focus is. Okay, we're just looking at, oh, you know, we're looking at this. We're looking at color. We're going to explore color, right? We haven't really explored color because we've just been focusing on shapes and form when you're first learning to draw. Then we then we focus on value. Okay, let's focus on value, the lights and the darks. I know this needs to go darker in this area here, right? And trying to capture those different values, right? And noticing the different, but that's till afterwards. It's the same thing, I guess. Geometry. Geometry was for me the fun stuff, I guess. Everybody wants to, and I guess yeah. That's why, you know, with my lessons, I really want to do the lessons where you can go through them really quick and you don't have to be perfect at them. You can always go back and you know, work at that. That's why I'm at this level now where I've kind of put all this stuff out there already, but I need to organize it and put it out there and say, okay, this is this level, this is that level. You can go, you know, at your own pace. All right. And then you'll know when you're ready to go to this next level. All right, let's take that learning and take it into, even if it's not complete, you can do it and do it for fun and do the joy, not just drill and kill, because you can easily drill and kill this stuff. Like, all right, just shapes. No, you know, it's finding that balance. It really is. And just going through it, not having to learn 100% of everything. It's just getting an idea and getting a feel, and then you go back to it. Oh, this is what I want to, you know, and then you adjust it too, because you can it depends on what your purpose is. And we've talked about purpose and your goal. Hey, you know, my purpose is just, you know, doing a cartoon. Okay, stick figures is fine. We don't have to get into all these muscles, right? I just want to do stick figures. That's or even, you know, Bob Ross, he just does landscapes. He doesn't worry about figures at all. You know, so you need to find that purpose, find that, what is your purpose? What is your why? Why are you doing this stuff? Why are you creating? Because it's fun, because you're observing. It's that why that's really important. It's that why, it's your purpose, your reason. And when you find that, shoot, once you find your purpose, your reason, you're born again. You know, we're you know, oh, there's several quotes that I'll look up right now, but once you find your reason, it's like you'll have trouble, but you'll get through those troubles because you know why you're doing it. You know, okay, right, I'm doing this because I like this, or I'm doing this because I want to tell this story. I want to do this. You have your purpose, you have your reason why you're doing it, and your whys will get you through the what's and the hows and the hard times too. You know, you're doing it, you know, you have your why. You know, you're willing to go through hell and high water to save your house, because it's your house that's on fire, right? It's your house. It's your why. It's not just any house. It's your house. It's you know the reason why you're dialing 911 and trying to get everybody to do what they can to because you have your reason. Right. So, all right. Thank you for hosting this. I was looking for a drawing group to help try me out this artistic funk. I deal with the depression and have been feeling poorly for a while and haven't been able to draw much. Have a good night. All right. Good night. Well, you did a good job. Awesome. One of my whys is doing all the things I missed as a kid. Yeah. Yolanda, thank you for joining us.
I didn't learn to draw and I didn't learn to sew as a kid.
Yeah.
So those are two things I'm working on. And I didn't learn French as a kid.
And now you're doing it. That's awesome.
Very, very, very slowly,
Mm.
which is okay with me. We live forever in my family. It takes a lot to kill us off.
That's good. Well, as long as you're making those you're not counting the days, but you're making the days count. That's important, and that's what you're doing. Yeah, so people just count the days, but you gotta make the days count.
If my teacher were to ask me now, where's the problem? I'll say, where do you want me to start? I mean, I didn't take enough time to set up everything, and I was wondering why my guy didn't look like his head was down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that I had his shoulders too high up. Because if you look, his head his chin is way down, right?
Yeah.
And his shoulders are way up, and the way I drew it, it was wrong.
Uh-huh. Which is okay. So the thing is, maybe yeah, you got to focus on the structure, on just the structure. Don't worry about the shading. Don't worry. And it's almost like seeing I don't know. It's like seeing the skeletal. That's why if you look at
I'm too impulsive, and I want to get to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And for example, his hand, I think the hand looks really great, but it's in the wrong place. It can't be on the way I have him. It can't, if I want to move his shoulders down, then the hand is much further down, which looks okay actually. It doesn't look like an impossible position, but it's not what the model's doing. So I should have been much more careful about the planning stage,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. That's the structure. Once you can, because once your structure's off and you add all the icing on the cake, the cake is not good. It's still going to taste bad. So it's really important to have that structure, that building. Same with the framework. You don't see the framework, but you on a house. But if that framework's not there, that house, you can paint it any color. You can add whatever you want, but it'll still that framework is really important to have. So that should be a phase maybe you're just focusing on for a while. Like, okay, I'm going to focus on just the framework. I'm going to focus on seeing these big shapes. All right. And just focus.
What, for me it's like, I still like part of the, even though it's inaccurate, but maybe that's the problem, that I'm not that horrified by the mistake.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know what makes it a mistake. I mean, I don't know what you mean by. I mean, it's as far as accuracy. Okay. I mean, mine's not 100% accurate. I mean, I just like right now. I changed this finger, and I'm changing. Making these adjustments.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know how much this thing is photoshopped or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's real.
Right.
Drawing from, we're not drawing from life.
No, we're not drawing from life, but you still can try to draw what you see. What do you see if it's real?
Right. So but that's my excuse. I could say, well, my guy looks just as real as that guy, even if he's a little bit off.
Yeah.
He looks like a person.
Yeah.
He looks, well, he looks kind of Neanderthal, but anyway.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all fun and games. And you know, we're just
I mean, I'm embracing my Neanderthal roots.
awesome. I know there's it's funny how they've discovered that we all have like
Yeah, I have like 4% Neanderthal. I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
explains a lot.
Yeah,
The impulsivity, that's the Neanderthal part.
yeah. We're all that hold all those genes in the gene pool. I mean, we have I don't know, we even related to mushrooms. I know there's mycelium and all that stuff.
That explains the other part.
All right. Let's see. Go back to sharing my
The
screen.
primordial soup that we climbed out of, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. There's that drawing again, that picture again, our
The body of
reference.
the hand is like awesome. Seriously.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. All right, let's take a look at what we also got. All right, we've got 10 minutes. 10 minutes to draw. I think we're gonna jump to I love these cartoons though. This is what we're gonna be heading towards. I guess we're gonna be heading towards and I love this structure. Look at the structure here. See, this is the structure I'm talking about. This artist understands the structure. You can see the sketching underneath the sketch, and then on top is the drawing. This is what a lot of people just see the finished drawing, but this is what's underneath. And this artist here understands that solidness of the form that's underneath. And two different characters here. You can see the bottom two. One with the beard. It could be the same character, just one with a beard and one without the beard. Interesting. It's a Getty photo too. Interesting. Let me see. Here we go. Got a lot of time. So I gotta wind this up. It's already here for an hour. Awesome. We got hello. Yeah, oh shoot. Yeah, area code 786. Wondering who I am. Who are you is the question. Yeah, look at that. And this is a little simpler, where it's just down like a snowman. And this one, yes, definitely a lot more complex. Oh, I love that drawing. Sketch. It's nice. By Dr. Kamu Wango of Kenyatta University. This picture was also finished, but the page could not let me copy it. It's a little unclear too. It's a little blurry. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, look at that, the caricature. And we've done stuff like this. These are awesome. Just wish I had time to draw all this stuff. And just study. I mean, it becomes part of your arsenal. It really does. You start. Okay, we're take a vote. 1 or 2. I think I like this one. This one has perspective to it. So this will be our last drawing for the night. I wish we had more time. Something in the chat. Check out the guide to cartooning AI Bowl. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cartooning by AI Bowl.
Albo.
Albo.
I know you're into AI.
I am the AI. Here, let me see.
Can I show you the book?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Hold on. Let me see. Not yet. Let me see. Oh, here we go. I don't. Oh, there you are. Oh, there. Oh, that's a nice book. Let me see. Let me spotlight you. There you go. Let me. I think I'm still sharing my screen though. Guide to Cartooning Albo. Oh, wow. Hey, that looks so familiar. I think I might have.
I'm sure you know him.
There we go. Let me see. There it is. Yeah, your spotlight. There you are. Albo. That you know what that Abraham Lincoln looks familiar, but I'm sure other people have drawn him. So let me see. Show me some of the pages in there, or flip through it real quick. Towards the camera. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. Nothing says happy birthday like. Yeah. That's cool. That's a nice book. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's framing. avoid static panel design, better design. Oh yeah, it has to do with composition. There's some 1-point perspective. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Following animals shape design. Look at that. There we go. Oh, folds and clothing. That's a whole other. Drawing hands. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, look at that. It's all stuff we've talked about. Yeah, look at the angles on the characters. It's all the same stuff. I mean, it is. It's just the practice now. It's just copying, finding, seeing the stuff that you like. Look at drawing eyes, the proportions on the eyes. Yeah, there it is. The form, the heads. That's a really good book. Yeah, really good basic book. I mean, it's really jam-packed with stuff. Look at the form on that. They're doing form, the cylinders. Yeah, great, awesome. Oh yeah, very nice book. Thank you for sharing.
Hey, you're welcome.
All right. Yeah, listen, I'm gonna have to go through my books too.
Highlight me, thanks.
Could I
What's
see it again quickly?
Sure,
Okay, thank you.
welcome. Yeah, this is a good one. It says, so what do you do for a living? I'm a cartoonist. And the guy says to him, I mean for a living.
Oh man. All right. Here, let me see. Here we go. Let me see. Here's my quotes. We all have 2 lives. The second one begins when we realize we only have one.
Yep.
If you have a big enough why.
I show you my guy.
Oh yeah, sure. Before I start breaking the sky apart, let me stop sharing. Let's see. Since you have the spotlight right now too. Here, let me hold on. Oh, where'd I lose you? I lost you. Hold on. Got too many screens open. Is that it? No. All right. I see this one here. All right. Go ahead. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. I see your guy now. Yeah.
I think his hand looks great, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
So,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah. You're just having little structural, just what it is placement. That's what you're having trouble with. The placement of the stuff, how everything's placed. You're seeing it, but the placement. Yeah. We got a thumbs up for you.
Oh, thank
It's awesome.
you.
It looks good. No, you're
I
getting
show
it.
you my Carmen Miranda.
Sure. Ah, that's cool. Chiquita Banana. Carmen Miranda, yeah. It
So
reminds
that
me
has a little bit of everything in it. It has acrylic, gouache, and charcoal. And
awesome.
well, you saw it on Facebook probably, right?
No, I don't remember seeing that one.
On Facebook.
I don't remember seeing
Anyway,
that one.
thanks everybody for indulging me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you.
We've only got like 5 minutes, so let's see. Let's break this one. I'm going to do this one really quick. I was going to look for that other quote. There was a second why quote. Oh, here it is. Let me see. I think I might have it right here. The first one was that one, and then we have. Oh, and I don't see it anymore. Let me see. No, it's gone. The 2 most important days of your life. It's a Mark Twain quote, and that image is gone. The 2 most important days. Oh, yeah, that's it. The 2 most important days of your life: the day you were born, and the day you find out why. That's all right. Yeah, and that's all purpose and reason. All right, here we go. Let's break this down. We don't have that much time. Okay, so definitely angles. You can see how big this hand is compared to this other hand over here. And something to look at is these axis lines. These axis lines here, even if here and here, and how it kind of just goes back into space. That like that. And then the pelvis is here. You can see that's the pelvis bone right there, that bone right there. And this is all kind of going back into space. This foot is like back here, and then this one's here is a little bit closer and bigger. This part here is the closest to us. You can see this going back into like a vanishing point. Let me see if we could be able to find a vanishing point. But it would be on this line here. It would be on this line. Well, of course, any line I draw up, I guess. But if we can get, let me see. I'm trying to see if we can get some kind of. It's hard to. Well, these lines here would go to.
Eladio?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
It feels like kind of like obvious to me when you have the 8 lines out and
Uh-huh.
the figure is straightforward. But
Yeah.
I feel like once the figures turn and do things, like all the rules go out the window. Like I can't figure out where the lines are anymore or how long or short they should, like is that useful still to have those 8 lines when they're like contorted?
Yeah, it is because then you kind of get a feel for it. You get a feel for the proportions, and then when you and then when you get a feel for perspective, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense because this is going back, like here you can see this foot here, and then if I grab it and bring it forward, it's smaller than this foot here. It's smaller than this foot here. So you're still going to need to have that sense of proportion. Like here, like the one, my favorite is the anatomic middle here, this axis line here. So once I know this, this from here to here is, that's our center. That's our center. You can see that here, it's really small, right? But this actually helps with, as far as like, just even drawing this, because this is supposed to be the center here. And it's hard to tell with these pants. And another challenge there. It could probably even be a little bit lower, but right about there. And use that use these landmarks as drawing guides, because even though these landmarks will change now, but you can still use these as guides, as guides. And I can see like, oh, I can actually use this to actually find this shoulder, to find that vanishing point up there. But some things don't change. So yeah, perspective will change things, but some things don't change. Like this whole torso here, this torso doesn't change. And there is a slight change in because of perspective, So yeah, but this is more of the exception than the rule. A lot of times, you know, it can go from just a little bit of change to something really exaggerated. This one's actually exaggerated. The hand is really out. I mean, if we take this hand and compare it to the other hand, this is a lot closer to the camera. And if we go back here, it's twice as big as the hand back here. The hand back here is like half the size. Look at that. Get out of the way. Half the size of this hand that's over here. Notice how big this hand is. And that's being generous. I mean, if I go from the wrist to there, and then go over here to the wrist and there, you can saw it's probably even 3 times, almost 3 times as big here than it is over there. But you know, yeah, there it is. But it'll play tricks. It'll play tricks on you, right? So you know, seeing that and understanding that, and it does help. Again, it's all a puzzle. It's all a puzzle. It's the more you know, the more you like and understand perspective, because people see that and like, oh, they think the hands are the same size. They'll draw the hands the same size, but they're not. So you need to kind of like know how your brain is being fooled and how you're going to fool others that way, right? You think, hey, wait a minute. And especially if you're not like, oh, wait a minute, this looks too small. Okay, well then you like, for a while I was drawing legs too short, and then I like, okay, wait a minute. And then I went back and I saw, okay, yeah, right, that's the anatomic middle. That's how my legs should be this long, and you know, it helped maybe 80% of my drawings, and then it just became 90, and then it just became better. And you start seeing it again. You just got to be patient with yourself. Like here, I'm just drawing it out now. Drawing the head. And see, I'm just seeing these shapes, these masses. But yeah, that's a great point. It's a great point. Like, what's the point of it? Yeah, you know, like here I can see the hand really big over here, and then over here, the hand really small, and then just make those things to look for, just like landmarks. So you're driving somewhere, oh, there's that landmark, oh, there's that landmark, you know. And I can see, let's see if I can move this head, and actually where it's already time for me to go, so I might not even get the chance to finish this head here, and like right here, there's not a big change, but it is like here, let's see, so from this size of the head, so you see the chin to the head, that's what I've got right now in my hand. And then we go from there to, it should be going to the yeah, because the next would be the nipples, but that's going way down to the rib cage.
I hate to
Eladio,
be rude. Oh,
you
Oh.
still have pearl pin,
Oh,
so
I'm
we
sorry.
can't see your drawing?
Oh, okay.
and I was going to say, I think you're 7 minutes past leaving for your mother.
Yeah, I better go now then. All right. Yeah, I gotta go. I think that might have been my sister. All right, let me see. Stop sharing. Ready? There we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the drawing I was doing here. That was just a quick sketch. But you can see that torso here and the hand, the head. But you got to see these big shapes and the placement of them and how they kind of connect. Again, it's that puzzle. This is the piece, the thing that you should be looking at. You can't get lost in the detail. You can't get lost in the detail. You want to see these relationships. Like this hand now here, I can see this hand in relation to this foot over here. Right. And need to bring that back. All right. I guess we're going to call it a night. We'll see everybody next week or Thursday. And that's it. Keep sketching, keep sketching, keep sketching. All right. Call it a night. Thank you for joining us.
One quick look at the dead
Yes.
body so I can click it.
Okay. Was it really? No, it's not.
No, I just it was the easiest word to come up with.
Okay, yeah, he's on the floor ground there. Yeah.
Oh, I meant your version.
Oh, my version. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
my version's easy to see. It's on the meetup page.
Mine's still just a stick figure. Oh my gosh.
Well, that's enough.
That's
Okay.
enough. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, everybody, good night. Thank you for joining us. All
Bye.
11
Good
of
night,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
All right.